Hello.
I assume that GIF was there's some tea going on somewhere.
Water's exploding about a Hydra holdout.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's just fucking going off about fucking I guess having enough food for the holdout and who would eat who first. I'm just enjoying myself.
Oh, all of a twata?
Yeah.
Courtney's fat neck would make for a good steak. What the fuck?
Ventura said to eat Courtney first.
Wow.
Arnold's threatening Ventura. This is great. This is what I woke up to.
Jesus. Well, it's yeah, this is some zombie apocalypse. Say goodbye to your wife. Today is the last day you're gonna see her. Oh my god.
This is already a day. All right.
Oh my god. Did you end up doing the Undersheriff thing?
No.
Oh.
I think ultimately, like, as much as, like, yeah, I think it would be, like, fun to do, like, I'd rather just not waste my time.
Honestly, understandable.
I think for, like, a joke, yeah, it would be, like, hilarious. But the reality is, there's no way in hell that McNulty picks me because of, like, our personal relationship. And secondly, there's way more overqualified people compared to me.
You think so?
I think so, yeah.
Really?
I think that the issue
I don't actually know who's applying.
I mean, I pushed McNulty a little bit on him needing to interview Viv because I think that she will counter personality in the best ways possible.
Viv would be quite good.
Yeah, she'll ground him, and I told him that I truly believe that he needs to not pick somebody that's in current BCSO.
I would agree with that.
I think and I mean, I know he probably doesn't agree with me, but the issue he's going to face is that Princess's entire aspirations right now is shifting the BCSO culture. And if you just continue to keep things in-house, you're not doing that. So he needs an undersheriff that can give him fresh eyes and be able to kind of, again, be that counter to him of wanting to really keep that culture that is currently there that's obviously not working. So I'm hoping he will go that route.
I agree. It's exactly that. I think what you're saying is if you do it in-house, you're just saying status quo, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes Viv would actually be Viv's not a bad shout because he's shift 2, so they're gonna need a shift 1 person. And
yes. The thing is that they're both very passionate about being police officers, and so they butt head because of it, because they both have very strong personalities. The difference is that I think that Viv can put McNulty in his place and he'll actually listen. Not saying that he wouldn't listen to somebody else, but I feel like there's only so many people that I can think of off the top of my head that could actually stand up to him and like go toe to toe with him. Yeah. And I think that she is definitely one of them.
Very interesting. Yeah. I'm very curious to see how it all plays out.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what ends up happening. I mean, I know he's been busting ass as of right now to try to do everything he needs to do. So
has he considered Trig?
I don't know. I really haven't talked to him about it.
Oh, gotcha. Radich.
He might have.
Radich has not been given a fair opportunity. And that's someone else that, you know, I hope McNulty considers. I'm sorry. I'm lying.
I was about to say I can hear. That's not gonna happen. I think McNulty has his own thoughts on that one too.
No, yeah. Oh, chat's
I mean, ultimately,
back.
like he'll pick who he thinks is best.
What up,
I really
chat?
hope that he.
Oh my God, I missed you. You guys left me like I
broke
did
it down
you
to
yesterday.
him a matter of like, this is something that he has wanted for a while, and he has a chance to do something great for BCSO. So take all the opportunities that you have. If you have the opportunity to pick somebody that isn't in BCSO that could be a good balance and the fresh eyes and really help you like build the department the way that like it was envisioned to do so, you should take it. Don't take the comfortable option. Like this might be your only chance. You may not be sheriff again in 3 months.
That is a good point.
You have to figure out how much of an impact for the better you can make for the department, for the county. Like you have to look at the big picture. It's not about the right now, right? If you've got 3 months to hopefully get the department to a place where, you know, the current mayor is content with that, that saves your ass for hopefully if they get reelected, you will stay.
Very true. Not wrong.
You have to play the politics game. You have to. And that might mean making decisions that maybe you're not 100% on board with, but if that's what you have to do to secure your spot, that's what you have to do.
Yeah. Very true.
I hope that he will... I know he'll make a smart decision. I hope that he will make the smart and equally selfish decision to protect his ass to make sure that he can continue to be in the position he's in.
Yeah, that's I think he's gonna do fine on that. McNulty has a brain. Which
thank God.
Yeah, thank God, exactly. It's I think it's a rare commodity. I genuinely and that goes across the board. It's not just a law enforcement thing. A lot of people react on desires and emotions, right? And I think he can balance those things, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So, oh shit.
Well, yeah, it's like I just said, right? Like I think a lot of people, at least in PD, a lot of people forget that it's a giant game of politics. You have to play your hand properly, or else you are risking a lot of backlash from so many different angles.
I mean, that's why I kept fucking kicking BCSO in the teeth before. It was a reaction, right? Like, you know, it's a reaction to lack of negotiation. You know what I mean? Is the best way I can describe it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Well, so then where does that place you now?
I don't know. I'm still just floating around, trying to find my place in the world.
Jesus. Well, I'll let you in on something. I'm curious about your thoughts. Okay. I don't think law enforcement cares that there's a plague going around. I mean, they care, but they don't. It's you know, brings me recently. It's something I've had to re-explore, and it's odd because, you know, it goes back to I want to be the bad guy, but I can't. I keep having to play the hero, which I'm not. You know, I'm not trying to say I'm like some kind of like knight in shining armor for San Andreas. I'm just saying, like, I keep having to make the better for the whole decisions instead of being able to, you know, put my pinky in my mouth and do the, like, you know, like the fucking ha ha ha, like, you know, evil fucking mayor shit. It's yeah, there's, it doesn't seem anyone gives a fuck. I mean, they do, but there's no you care only, for me, someone only cares if it's attached to action. You know what I mean? Like, otherwise it's just talk. But yeah, I've been trying to wrap my head around that. It's apparently Dr. Smith's been driving around getting people sick.
Yep, he's been doing that for a while.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like as far as that is concerned, I think the two people that were law enforcement or are currently still are law enforcement that have the most information about that is myself and Dark.
Oh, and Dark hasn't done shit, if I'm gonna be honest.
Well, this is where you get into the territory of whether you do or do not believe in the narrative that this is a supernatural being, because that's when things get a little bit more complicated.
Interesting.
So if we're looking at it from like a literal stance, okay, like let's say we're looking at this from this is some guy with, we'll say he's a bioterrorist just for the sake of this conversation, right?
Well, I don't think it's for the sake of it.
Shit.
The guy is a bioterrorist.
Yep. All right, I just fucking crashed my bike and that hurt a lot. So you have this bioterrorist. Anytime anybody comes near him, just
what do you mean
continues to spread whatever, bioterroristic things he has, and no one's able to find a way to mitigate his actions, right? At that point, you need to start investigating the people that are around him. You put pressure on the people that are, let's say, again, in the way we're talking about this, the people in his operation or that are operation adjacent, you start looking into them. Try to figure out their involvements, try to put pressure on them, see if that is able to get you to find a weakness, for example. From there, you're able to figure out, like, how is this person engineering said, bioterroristic attack? Like, there's so many things you have to dismantle there. But the problem is that, again, this kind of goes into the argument of whether or not you believe this is or is not a supernatural being, because that changes the direction of the conversation or the actions you can take on this. Ultimately, it's pretty easy to avoid getting sick as long as you're not a fucking idiot. And unfortunately, that's about 10% of the population of Los Santos.
10% is being exceptionally generous.
It's trying to be nice. There is a lot of fucking around and finding out that is happening with this entire thing. And people continuously are told that they are fucking around and finding out, and they don't do anything about it.
Can you give me an example? Are people inserting themselves in this? I'll just ask.
Yes,
you mean like that?
Basically.
Well,
they are poking the bear, is the best way I can put it. And then said bear decides, okay, well, now you're going to be the brunt of my bioterrorism. And they keep doing it over and over and over and over again.
So, like, interesting. Under the belief that what the fuck's he gonna do type shit. Is that what I'm understanding?
Correct. And they just keep poking and poking and poking and, like, pushing the fucking boundaries on that. So, like, for example, when I got sick the first time, I just went to go talk to him. I went and I had a really, like, good, respectful conversation with him, and then I was better. It's not that hard to not be a shitty human being and not get fucking sick every 3 seconds. But you have people like fucking Ember who are so needy for this person's attention and approval that they just continuously get sick and get contagious.
She's gotten sick multiple times?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I mean, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. It's the same shit over and over and over again. It's the same shit that, like, I was able to hand Oxy
this is giving
a cure,
me
and he did this whole, well, I'm going to play hero and give it to the doctors, which, granted, I understand. I get it. Dark has already been down that route. He tried to give a cure to CMC, and they were not able to replicate it. What? So then Oxby wants to do it again months later, and I literally told him, like, you are not going to be able to replicate this. We do not have the current medical technology to be able to replicate this. It is literally the words from Dr. Isaac himself. And guess what? They were yet again unable to replicate it. So instead of trying to, be selfish and say, hey, I'm going to take care of myself so I can take care of the public as a peace officer, I'm going to be the fucking hero and just continue to be sick and potentially get contagious. It's literally crazy. It is so insane to me that I could tell somebody the same thing 4 times and they're still like, no, I'm gonna go play hero real quick. It's fucking crazy, Nino.
I'm learning a lot from this conversation because
hey, can I grab a combo, please?
A lot of this I have never heard, and this is the first time I'm hearing a lot of this. I've been under the impression that Ember was like, the one-time thing, and she learned their lesson. And
no. She keeps on like fucking. Thank you so much. She just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. Thank you so much. So like it's people are just not learning. I'm genuinely surprised. Well, no, I'm not. Never mind. I was gonna say I'm surprised that the marshals have not filled you on it more, but that doesn't shock me at all anymore at this point.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's for me, it's less about it's to me. It's that, I mean, that's San Andreas. Everyone wants to be the San Andreas is very gatekeepy.
Incredibly.
Among other things. And that's the whole when we had a meeting on this the last time, like 6 weeks ago or whatever, it was the most awkward meeting of like everyone knew information but was sus over each other. And it's just like,
yep.
Why? And it's like, because you're not my faction.
Yeah, you're not my people, so therefore I'm not going to share. It's the stupidest shit on the planet. This is something that's like a public safety concern, like a health safety concern, and no one is willing to share any information about it. And it's actually asinine.
It is. It's also, it's why I fail to find words a lot of times to explain these kind of things, because in my mind it's like, how do you explain something that it's very gatekeepy, it's very my faction is the only trustable one. There's no better way I can put it, because other words don't describe the bluntness of what is occurring. It's
100%. People just like it's a big issue I face in the marshals of just people like not sharing information, even like interdepartmentally, which was fucking crazy. And like I even think back to like the fucking statement that they made out.
If you're in chat and still having issues,
they waited
type in Discord.
To put out a statement about a possible like terrorist organization. It's just like, hello? Like there are things you have to tell the public. Like it's a threat to the public. Like you need to do your job. I don't understand why that's so hard.
It saddens me, and it's been my biggest thing over the last while. Is that when I think that's been my biggest fight over the last 9 months. And unfortunately, with all the twisting of what my actual reasons have been, like, ban Blaine County, right? People see that, but they never really, a lot of people never acknowledge, a lot of people did, but not acknowledging I want the department to feel like, and the people to feel like they can communicate and work together to design what San Andreas looks, or Los Santos looks like, or what Blaine County looks like. Not go to this bank truck, break the thing, and then, pog out and whatever. It's all the same virus. It really is seeing everything through the lens of a ping, or through the lens of a, like a fucking Group 6 COD, right? Yep. And it's very, I don't know if upsetting is the word, but it's disappointing, like truly. Yeah. There's a lot of opportunities for both of the counties to be shaped in a way that, it gives power to the people, and no one does anything with that. They just sit there and bitch and moan and complain about things that they don't understand. And then, like in this instance, no one comes to talk to you. I mean, like, I'm going to keep it a stack. Like the amount of times that I've spoken to you as a marshal, and like, I would tell somebody else in the marshal office, like, oh yeah, I'm going to go meet with Nino. And it would just be like, grumble, grumble, grumble. I'm like, he's the fucking mayor. Like, I'm going to talk to him. Why would I not? Yeah. That's fucking stupid. But what if, Oshiera, what if, that's what it is. But even, and I lay that example up because as you described to me, these things, it's the same issue, right? It's a different problem, but it's the same issue. Is that what if someone else knows, this thing, right? That this thing happened, or that this danger. And I feel like there's a lot of excuses, but the excuses all come to, oh shit.
You okay?
Oh, it didn't go off. Yeah, I fell in the water. I feel like it's all excuses of, what if this isn't mine anymore? I don't know how else to put it. It's with everything, to be honest. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's too bad.
It's very unfortunate. I mean, I still go back to, even when like Moss and Peters were chief and assistant chief, and just like nobody gave them a shot. And it's just like you are so stuck in like the doom spiraling that you can't even look at anything as an opportunity.
Well, that was the thing that was so disgusting, is that these rats from that are still around today. I mean, I have no problem saying it because it's history, but certain things you can't necessarily forget what they did. Is some of these rats just straight up, like day one, before she's even said hello, just on Twitter, just lambasting her, like fucking cancer type shit, as far as I'm concerned, because they didn't know who she was. You know what I mean? And and to this day, I still remember that moment, because even just a little tinge of something doesn't go their way, it's just crying. And I'm like, do you not remember what you did? Right? And this is a problem that isn't even like egregious. This is, oh man, I can't drive this, or I can't shoot. You know what I mean? Like frivolous things, right? Like if this frivolous
they're so
things,
insignificant.
Exactly. Yeah. Fuck, that's crazy. I'm. It continues to astound me how much I don't know about certain things like this. Like, this should just all be available, discussed.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, this should be, but instead it's forgotten. And I think that's kind of why I got agitated when I learned about 2 cops getting sick in a traffic stop. And I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that without getting well, I don't want to say marshals because they've been pretty good recently. Without getting someone like being pissy because I may have just leaked something. That's public information as far as I'm concerned. Like, imagine 2 fucking police officers getting sick in the middle of the goddamn city, and it's like, shh, don't tell anybody.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, what if
the amount of I understand like the needing to keep like some things under wrap, but like, I don't know. It's why the marshal's office had interested me so much. It was a matter of like, we are there to, and when we say like protect the public, like it really is like to protect the public. So when it's shit like this, where I just kind of sit there going like, these are things that need to be made aware. I mean, when they were even like talking about like, how do we word this announcement? I'm like, you just say it. You don't have to sugarcoat. I mean, you obviously need to, word it in a way that doesn't, create mass hysteria, but you need to lay out the facts. Like, it's not, I don't understand like why if you have a bioterrorist that's out on, the fucking loose, like there should be a public announcement made talking about that. Like, you need to stay away from him. He is a threat. And of course, I mean, I'm sure it's going to make some people significantly more curious, which is, their own.
That's always going to happen.
Idiocy.
Oh yeah. The counterpoint, to that point, is that we are sending the message that he's not a threat, even though he is.
Exactly. So more people go to him.
So more people go. So maybe that's why. What's the name? I mean, Ember's a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
She's probably going to do it anyways, but for those who probably are, because we're like, oh, well, if it was that dangerous, then someone would have said something or done something, right? It's not real unless people believe it, and that's everything in San Andreas. And man, we're doing a hell of a lot of segments of the state making everything not a big deal. You know, this whole thing with fucking Mason Dixie was kind of one of the wildest things I had to deal with. I don't know if you heard. Did you hear
I've
what
heard
happened?
bits and pieces, and I've read the docket.
The guy journaled the stalking and attempted murder of members of ADMC.
That's fucking crazy.
It is, and his high command knew. They refused to comment on it. Now they'll have their excuses, but for me, it was principally like, how are you going to bury him with honors? You are, you know, you're sending a message to the public, to your own officers, that you accept what he did, because burying someone with honors is it's a very sacred thing.
Incredibly. And he was not deserving.
Exactly. And unfortunately, the argument came down to, and I heard this afterwards, so I don't even know like who came up with it, but it was repeated by many post facto, right? Which means that there was probably a meeting on it. Is that nobody cares because he's dead. It's for the people that are mourning. And I'm like, it's not about the people that are mourning.
Traditional funeral for him.
That's the option. That's what was on the thing. It said, go do it like privately. You know what I mean? Like, do whatever you want. Just don't do it with honors. At least not here in the county. So I'm not going to stand by it, because you put him next to people that actually did lose their lives protecting and serving. You're fucking shitting all over them. And the answer was, well, this is not about him. It's about those that are grieving and whatever. And I'm like, no, it's for those that are living. And there's a lot more people living that are going to be like, wow, you buried a fucking serial killer. Like, and said, you know what? We condone this. So for me, it's like, congratulations. Right. Like,
this goes back to like what I was really saying, right? Like, as far as like now this being like McNaulty's territory, right? Is like, he needs somebody to sit there, and he needs his own devil's advocate. He needs somebody who can sit there and tell him like, hold on, you need to look at this from an optics perspective.
Yes.
Which, I mean, I hate to say it, but I don't know if he's going to get that in LSPD or BCSO right now, period. I think that there's a little too much loyalty to the badge and not loyalty to the public.
I think there's a lot of internal factions of that is, what is it that other party wants, right? Everything is viewed through the lens of bad faith due to projection.
Yeah.
That's another thing. It's like everyone seems to believe everyone's got an ulterior motive, right? I mean, to the extent that there are days where I sit back and I'm like, man, maybe I should have absolutely ruined their life. You know what I mean? Let me expand on what that means. There's been times where, like, I've run into situations, right? And I've been very like level-handed or level. I've been very moderate in my approach, or did not interfere, and still gotten the, I don't know. Like, let me give you an example, right? I told Turner I told him to block all transfers for 30 days.
Smart.
And I was like, I do not want Princess to go through, what Moss and I did for 3 months, where people were leveraging transfers in order to get what they wanted, right? Like, give me this or I'm leaving.
Yeah, which is disgusting.
It's disgusting. It fucks shit up. And immediately when I did it, I heard some of the most like brain dead reasons come out, like, oh, you're doing this because of this thing. And I'm like, brother, do you fucking sit back and like, but this did not come from McNulty, just to be clear. Right. But like, I was sitting there and like, man, do you sit back and just think I'm like, scheming shit all day? I actually do work, unlike most others. I'm sitting here writing legislation, listening to people. I don't got time for your degenerate ass. You know what I mean? Go back to Urban or whatever you're doing on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I got
Yeah, but I
work to do.
mean, they need a scapegoat, and they're not going to blame themselves for any of their actions, so they're just going to continuously blame
Well,
you.
for
It's
me,
really been the narrative for months now.
it has, and I think, I don't feel sorry for myself, to be clear. It's the disappointment of what that's preventing the city from going towards. And I speak from personal experience here, but I say that in that exists across, whether it's LSPD talking to BCSO, whether it's like Maxwell talking to Ruby, or whether it's, or whether it's like, Ventura talking to Radish. It's just, or the marshals talking to, it's just always just, what's the angle? It's like, stop thinking about the fucking angle. If something bad happens, you deal with it. Because otherwise, everyone just stands around and nothing moves forward. You know what I mean? It's just another fucking day and another fucking bank truck. That's
Yeah, it's shit's been very disappointing. Period.
Yeah.
Like just generally, I think is the best way that I can put it. Mainly obviously with PD, and I keep hoping that there's going to be changes. And when I say changes, I don't mean like the internal clicks and shit being better, but I mean like grand scheme of things. PD is supposed to be a public servant. And when I firsthand have watched them be more concerned about teetering the line of charge stacking and violating rights and just the like cross-department bullshit that they find is so much more important than, I don't know, responding to calls where there are hostages instead of a fucking bake truck where it's just going to end in a shootout and it's fucking pointless. Like the priorities are so skewed and it makes me sad.
You know what's crazy? I had to I will say this has not happened to me. But I have had to personally the princess has gotten kidnapped, right? And man,
Jesus,
the amount of, apparently it wasn't the first time either. Like I don't know what's going on. Like, oh yeah, someone like I don't know if others are supposed to know this, but she said something like someone took her blood.
the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. She's just like,
Gross.
I don't know what. I have my suspicions as to what that could be about. Probably related to this pestilent shit. Just because logically, maybe it's, or whatever. It could be experiments. Could be, I don't fucking know. Maybe he needs it for some shit. I'm just a wild guess, right? Because who the fuck is taking blood, right? Yeah,
that's very suspicious.
It's extremely. This is, mind you, the day after the day it happened was the same day someone else picked her up at gunpoint, and
oh my God.
I don't think anyone's like, the PD's just sleeping on it. Like I'd have spammed their 911 for her ass.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, maybe we shouldn't go down desperation lane. Somehow we've always landed back on this. I think it's yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah. Well,
I keep being hopeful that, at least, and maybe it is selfish of me to say, but my, I guess, dream of what BCSO and LSPD could look like happen at some point, even a fraction of that. But I think that is
it's
probably never going to happen.
I don't think it is either. That's why I migrated to a do as I say mentality.
Yeah.
It's we got everything getting codified, and if something's happening that shouldn't happen, there'll be a law for it, right?
Good.
It's what's the phrase? Legislation is their reprogramming. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna, you know, that's the move. But
I think it's the right move, to be honest.
yeah,
It's the only way that things will change.
yeah, 1000%. Anyways, well, Oshiera, was a good chat, and
Yeah, of
you know,
course.
if you ever need anything, feel free to, you know, give me a call.
Yeah, same goes
All
for
right.
you.
All right, you take care.
Bye bye, Nino.
Bye. I completely forgot about that. I meant to explore that, but then I started dreaming about cops and robbers. Why did her blood get taken? I feel like the blood. It wasn't until we had that phone call. You know, I have so much shit happen in the day. Chat, I never have a time to like sit back and actually think about what the hell. Sit back and think